Well, hi. I'm here to do a book tag today, which is something I don't do a lot of, but I was tagged by Jim's Books at Reading and Stuff. Excellent channel. Go watch his stuff and his books and his reading. Um, uh, and I've been tagged to do the childhood books tag, which I thought was kind of fun. So I'm here and going to answer the prompts. You can find a list of the prompts down below in the description if you want to follow along, but here they are. Okay, prompt number one. Were you a big reader as a child? And the answer to that is yes. In fact, I was a bigger reader as a child than I am now, probably because I had more time to read when I was a child than I do now. But I developed my love of books as a child, and it's still with me today. Okay, so prompt two is, did your parents read to you? If so, what? My mother did, and she read me Nancy Drew books, which is how I developed a love of mystery novels. And I progressed from the Nancy Drew mysteries to much more darker and interesting ones as I got older. But Nancy Drew, I have a very fondness in my heart for Nancy Drew books, as well as the Hardy Boys, which I got interested in from the Nancy Drew books, and even the Bobbsey twins. Although I'm betting a lot of my audience never heard of the Bobbsey twins. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, and tag number three. What is my first bookish memory? And now, if you have noticed the title of this video, you have noticed it says the childhood books tag and trauma. The trauma part is I added because of this one and the next prompt. And the first prompt, this prompt is the first bookish memory. Yeah, that first bookish memory comes with a trauma. Okay, so when I was a kid, I had this little picture book. I don't remember the title of it, only that it was about a cat. I think the cat's name was Jester. Could have been Jasper. Yeah, it was a long time ago, people. Anyway, and I remember I loved that book. It was a cute little story about a cat who gets rescued and finds a home, and it was a really sweet book. And I carried it everywhere. I read it over and over again. And then one day I accidentally dropped it in a bucket of water. And you can imagine what happened to the book. It didn't fall apart. And to my mother's credit, she rescued the book and dried it out for me. And it didn't fall apart, but it did get all warped and bent, and the pages were all crinkly, and it didn't close properly anymore. And I was very traumatized and devastated by this. Probably why I still cringe and get a shiver when someone talks about dog earing a book or destroying a book or repurposing a book. Still bugs the heck out of me today. So that's my first bookish memory and my first trauma. Okay, so the number four is, be honest. Did you read books assigned to you in school? And I did, because I liked books and I read a lot of different genres, different books. But this one also comes with a trauma because one of the books assigned to us in school was Lord of the Flies. Yeah, and if you know what that book is, you know it is very dystopian, disturbing, and yeah, that book freaked me out good. And left me with trauma as a kid. So that, and also, I think this was in, I'm not sure what grade it is, maybe grade 4 or 5 or anyway, one of the elementary grades, our teacher um played us a recording of audio drama. This was on record, by the way, not like a audio book, of War of the Worlds. More book inspired trauma from the school with that one. Yeah. Okay. So number five, where did you get your books as a child? Well, I got them from the bookstore and the library. Not just our local library, but the school library. Yeah, those were my home away from home. I spent a lot of lunch hours and recesses and things in the school library. Um, yeah, I went to the bookstore. You had to drag me out of the bookstore. Uh, I still have to drag me out of the bookstore, to be honest. Uh, so basically, those were the two places I got the books. Also, did you watch any television meant to inspire reading? This is prompt six. And I had to think about this because, a lot of my childhood TV watching was the regular TV shows and cartoons. But there are two shows that I guess that I watched that did inspire reading, or at least try to. So that was Sesame Street, pretty obvious one, but also a Canadian show called The Friendly Giant. And they would have story time during that. It was basically this children's show about a friendly giant, and he had this friend, Jerome the giraffe and Rusty the rooster. They were puppets, and he'd have story time sometimes. They'd have sing-alongs. It was a great show for kids. Anyway, so I guess that kind of did that show meant to inspire reading. So, prompt number 7, what sort of genres and storylines did you like? Well, my early childhood, I was big into the animal stories, like the horse stories, like the Shinty, I'm pretty sure I'm not pronouncing that right, stories, and the dog stories, and things like that. As I progressed to the teens, I got into the mysteries with Agatha Christie, and then Robert Parker Spencer mysteries, and some of the other English mystery writers like Dorothy L. Sayers and Marjorie Allingham. So mysteries. I also got a little into sci-fi with Dune, um, and some of the fantasy. Then I got into fantasy as well with the Dragon Riders of Pern, and that led to a few other fantasy series that I read as a teenager. So that's sort of how the genres progressed as I grew up. So, what was my favorite children's or picture book? Um, Now, I said, it was the poor drowned cat book, which I can't remember the title of it. But there was also a Bugs Bunny book that I had that I really liked. Can't remember the title of that either. But it was Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd and doing their thing. So yeah. Okay. So favorite chapter or big kids book. Now, the first one that really struck a chord with me is a book called Irish Red by Jim, and I'm sure I'm going to pronounce his name wrong, Kjelgaard. And it was an animal book about an Irish setter and his owner and their bonding and all that stuff. And another one that sticks out as a kid, also another trauma book, because if you've read it, and that is Where the Red Fern Grows. Yeah, so if you've read that book, you know that that's trauma inducing. So lots of trauma in my childhood from books. Okay, and my favorite children's series, and again, that would probably be Nancy Drew, because I didn't read a lot of series when I was growing up. And of course, when I progressed into the teen years, that would probably be the Robert Parker, the Spencer series, novel detective books. And number 11 is to tag others. Now, I'm not big into the booktube world, so I don't know too many YouTubers who do the booktubing. So I'm not going to tag anybody. I'm just going to say anybody who watches this video who wants to do the tag, feel free, because you are now tagged. So there. Anyway, so that's it for the childhood books tag. I hope you enjoyed the video. So bye for now, everybody.